श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजम् अप्रमेयम् सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वयरत्नदीपम् आजानुबाहुम् अरविन्ददलायताक्षम् रामं निशाचर विनाशकरं नमामि. We're going to do Ayodhya Kanda. Hopefully we can complete it today. Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavitashakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmiki Muni Simhasya Kavitavan Nacharenaha Shrinvan Rama Kathanadam Konyati Parangatim Yapiban Satatam Rama Charitamrata Sagaram Atraptastam Munim Vande Prachetasmakal Masham Vaidehi Sahitam Suratramatale Haime Mahamatabe Madhya Pushpakamasane Manimaya Virasane Sustitam Agre Vachayati Prabhanjana Sute Tattva Munipik Param Yaknantam Bharadadabi Paripratam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam. We should always listen to and recite Valmiki Ramayana with immense gratitude. I request all participants to go on mute. Thank you. So we should always listen and recite Valmiki Ramayana with utmost gratitude. So there were totally 7 different topics in Ayodhya Kanda, and we have already finished 3 topics. Those are very nuanced topics, and by Sitama's mercy and Acharya's mercy, we were able to complete them. So we have seen how Dasaratha wanted to crown Lord Rama as the heir to the throne. We saw how greed affects Mother Kaikeyi, and she demands the 2 boons. We have seen the reactions of King Dasaratha, Mother Kausalya, Mother Sita, Lakshmana, Mother Sumitra, the 350 stepmothers of Lord Rama. We have also seen the lamentations of the wonderful Ayodhya-vasis, the great Ayodhya-vasis. And we met Guha, we met Sage Bharadvaja, and now we are in Chitrakuta with Lord Rama. So now we are going to cross into one of the most beautiful parts of Ayodhya Kanda, which is the passing of King Dasaratha. Now, we shouldn't think that a passing of Dasaratha is not a good thing for us to read or something like that. That is not true, because Valmiki Ramayana is the incarnation of Lord Rama. It is the literary incarnation of Lord Rama. Excuse me. And just as how Lord Rama does not have any negative qualities, Valmiki Ramayana also does not have any negative qualities. It's only positive. Excuse me. So even something like the passing of King Dasaratha is also very auspicious. It is not at all inauspicious to recite this. And the most important thing for us to remember is that Dasaratha is a great bhakta. So to listen to the disappearance of King Dasaratha, the passing of King Dasaratha, is not an inauspicious story. Because Dasaratha was a bhakta, he is always protected by the Lord, and therefore, whether he lives or whether he dies, both situations are very auspicious. All right. So with that preamble, let's go on. So we know that Sumantra stayed back on the banks of River Ganga, and we know that Guha was also with him, and Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, and the boatsmen ferry themselves across the River Ganga, and they go on to see Sage Bharadvaja, Sage Valmiki, and then they reside in Chitrakuta. And now Guha has multiple spies that inform him that Rama is now in Chitrakuta. And Sumantra learns this information from Guha. And then Sumantra is very sad. How is he going to return to Ayodhya when he brought Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana on his chariot from Ayodhya? How is he going to return to Ayodhya without them on the chariot? It's going to be very difficult. And not only was Sumantra very reluctant, even the horses did not want to go to Ayodhya without Lord Rama, Sitama, and Lakshmana. This proves yet once again that Lord Rama was beloved even to the animals, even to the plants, not just human beings. So anyway, Sumantra goes reluctantly to Ayodhya. The whole city is in ruins. Everybody is asking him, where is Rama? Where is Rama? Where is Rama? Where is Rama? And the royal ladies all whisper to each other, oh, Sumantra has returned without Rama. Sumantra has returned without Rama. Sumantra then goes into King Dasaratha's chamber and he sees the King Dasaratha is just lying achet. There is no sense in him. There is nothing. He's just sobbing away. He's just lying senseless with grief. And then Kausalya slowly tells him that Sumantra has arrived. So Dasaratha has always said that he cannot live without Rama. Even when he spoke to Mother Kaikeyi, he said, Tishtha loko vina suryam sasyam va salilam vina, natu Rama vina dekhe tishthetu mama jeevitam. So the world might be able to live without the sun, the crops might live without water, but I cannot live without Rama. There is no possibility of life existing in my body without Rama. And that is true. So we may question, how is it that Dasaratha is alive for 5 days, even after Lord Rama went off to the forest? Because there was hope against hope that Rama might return with Sumantra. Yes, Rama did go into the forest, but because he had Sumantra with him, Dasaratha had one hope that Rama might return. And if he returns, he just wanted to be with Rama. And as soon as he sees that Sumantra has returned alone without Rama, he wants to know, what has Rama said? Once again, he asks, where did he sleep? What did he eat? How was it possible for him to sleep on the earth like an orphan? How is he walking on the forest lands when he had so many chariots and elephants and horses to carry him around? How is it possible? And what is happening with the delicate Sita? And he said that without consulting elders or friends or ministers or scriptures, for the sake of one woman, he brought about a huge calamity upon the city. And he begs Sumantra. Sumantra was so far his loyal friend, his confidant, his minister, and everything. And now he says, if I've done you any favor in my 60,000 years, if I've done you any favor, take me to the forest, take me to my Rama. Suta, O charioteer, yadi asti te kinchin maya api sukritam kritam. Kinchin, anything, maya, I have done, sukritam kritam, done something good to you. Tvam prapaya ashu mam Rama pranaha samtvartayanti mam. Rama is my prana. He is my life. If I've done anything, he is my life. You please take me to him. If I have any authority, let Rama be brought back immediately. I cannot survive with him even for a moment. Na sakshyami vina Rama muhurtam api jeevitam. Muhurtam means one moment. Even for a moment, I cannot live without Rama. Then Kausalya also asks Sumantra to take her to where Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana are. And then Sumantra says, oh, Kausalya, Rama is very happy in the forest. Sita is there with him, Lakshmana is there with him, and everything is beautiful. And because Sita Ma is there with Lord Rama, even Ayodhya is not that attractive, because Sita is there. And the same thing goes for Sita Ma as well. Because Rama is there, even the forest is more attractive to her than Ayodhya. And now Kausalya begins to lament. How could how could Dasaratha justify sending Rama and Sita into the forest, that they're walking over there? After 60,000 years of penances, he obtained Rama, and Rama is the very fountain of mercy and compassion. And how can words that praise Rama's extreme renunciation soothe her aggrieved heart? It's not going to be a bomb. And now Sita Ma has to listen to the roars of animals. How can she withstand all of that? And Dashrata trembles all over. Because Kausalya chastises her husband. She chastises him. And Dashrata trembles, and he does a Kritanjali. He clasps his hands, and he entreats Kausalya to forgive him. And she says, Kausalya, you are a very dharmic wife. Please, please forgive me. And Kausalya, her heart immediately melts as soon as she sees her valiant husband supplicating to her. She says, please, please, please forgive me, because these taunts sprung from a well of despair, and please forgive me. And it's a gentle reminder that it has been 5 days since the Lord left. And these 5 days for these great bhaktas have been like 5 eons. And Dashrata sinks into a deep slumber. And after some time, he wakes up and he realizes that he knows that his time is nigh. And he recites one story that when he was a Yuvaraj, when he was a prince, he was not yet a king. When he was a Yuvaraj, he used to hunt based on sound, like just as how we have sonar equipment right now, or we know how bats and belugas, they emit some sound and they receive a particular frequency, and then based on that, they manage to avoid they managed to avoid buildings and stuff like that. So so that technology existed even during Treta Yuga. And so this particular arrow was known as the Shabda Ban. So he was an expert on using the Shabda Ban, and he was hunting once on the banks of River Sarayu, and he heard the sound of an animal drinking water. So he thought maybe it's a buffalo, or maybe it was an elephant or something like that. And he released the arrow. But lo and behold, it wasn't an animal, it was a hermit. And he was writhing on the ground with pain. And of course, Dashrata immediately goes to him, and the hermit says that don't worry, you didn't commit Brahma Hatya. You don't have Brahma Hatya dosha, because he's the son of a Vaishya father and a Shudra mother. So I'm not technically a Brahmana, but still, it wasn't right, because his parents were blind and helpless, and they depend on this ascetic boy to get their sustenance, to drink water and so on. And the dying request of this boy, whom everyone calls as Shravan Kumar, and I will explain why a little bit later, who everyone calls him as Shravan Kumar, and even though Valmiki has not mentioned his name at all, the only request was for Dashrata to carry some water and go to the hermitage and face his father. And he also requests him to pull away the arrow. And Dashrata is worried, would it cause him to die? And the hermit says that he is already dying, so it's fine, just pull the arrow. Dashrata is not going to incur any further sin. And of course, the blood just poured out and the life just ebbed away. Dasaratha filled in the picture, and then he walked towards the hermit's parents. And the father, the hermit, thought that Dasaratha was a son and asked him why he was a little bit late. But Dasaratha is very honest, and he says that he's Prince Dasaratha of Ayodhya, but he accidentally killed the hermit. And the hermit's last request that he help his parents, and therefore he's acceding to that request. The old hermit and the wife faint away with uncontrollable grief. And now many people might think, why didn't Dasaratha just take the easy way out? No one would have known it. He could have just gone off, and then people might think that he was just accidentally killed. So why did he have to go and face the father, the hermit? Why did he have to go and do that? For one, he's a Kshatriya, and he promised the hermit that he will face the father. He promised him. And another is that there are consequences to not facing our mistakes. There are consequences to not owning up to our mistakes. And the hermit over here very clearly says that had Dasaratha just run away and not owned up to this crime, his head would have split into 1,000 pieces. And thanks to that, the Ikshvaku line would have been completely obliterated. So because Dasaratha, he shouldn't have committed this crime, of course, but he did. And he faced that crime. He was ready to accept the punishment. And Dasaratha, what he does is he takes the two parents and takes them to the spot where that hermit died. And the reason why that person is known as Shravan Kumar is because the father was very blind, and the only way he had access to scriptures was if his son read the scriptures to him. And thanks to that, because of listening to scriptures very often, his name became known as Shravan. And Shravan's son is Shravan Kumar. Okay. They reach that spot, and they pray that the son reaches Svarga. They conduct the funeral rites for the son, who ultimately arose and said that because of his constant service to his parents, he is going off to Svarga Loka, and he assures them that they will also join him very soon. The father curses the prince to die out of grief of separation from his own son. And then the parents entered the blazing fire, and they died, and they joined their son in Svarga. So this is a very clear indication that Dasaratha knew how he is going to die. He is going to die out of grief of separation from his son. Dasaratha knew it. And yet, as we discussed in Balakand, life without Rama is worse than death. This is why he conducts the Ashwamedha Yajna and Putreshti Yajna and everything, so that he gets Rama as his son. Multiple places, Lakshmana says it, Dasaratha himself says it, Kausalya says it, that for 60,000 years he cried and wept and prayed to get Rama as a son. For 60,000 years. It was not just for 2 or 3 years. For 60,000 years, he cried and wept and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and conducted multiple austerities to get Rama as his beloved son. And now he has gotten him. And even the prospect of dying because of grief of separation from his beloved son was not as much an issue for King Dasaratha as spending an eternity without Rama. So living life without Rama is of no use at all. Dying while thinking of Rama is worth 1,000 lives without Rama. Dasaratha exclaims that right now Shravan's curse has finally borne fruit. So, how is it possible for an innocent person like Rama, the most beautiful, wonderful, sweet, tender prince who's perfect, who's perfectly beloved by everyone in Ayodhya? Why was it that he had to go off into the forest? It's all because of the curse of the say of the sage. And now we are going to see at the last minute, Dasaratha will die in a couple of verses, but at the very last minute, let us go through what Dasaratha thought about. If only Rama can touch me once. Those who go to Yama's realm cannot see their loved ones. So he's afraid of going to Yama, not because of the torture that exists in Yama's place, which is hell. Everyone knows hell is torturous. He is not afraid to go over there because of the pain that he will have to endure, the physical pain. The pain that he is afraid to endure is the fact that he will not be able to see Rama again. यदि मान संस्पृशेद रामः सकृदया लभेत वा यमक्षयम् अनुप्राप्त द्रक्ष्यन्ति न हि मानवाः. Lamanava means loved ones. You cannot see loved ones in Yama's realm. That is what is most troublesome to him. And what does he crave for? If only I can see his face one more time. But it is time to go to the halls of Yama. And then he says, only the best of people will get to see Rama return to Ayodhya wearing beautiful earrings. Nade Manushya, they are not human beings. Devah, that means that they are celestials. They Charu Shubha Kundalam. Charu means it's very beautiful. Shubha means auspicious. Kundalam means earrings. Mukham, that means the face. Drakshanti, to be able to see Ramasya, of Rama. Varshe Panchadashe Punaha. Punaha means again. Panchadashi means 15. On the beginning of the 15th year, only celestials, Deva, will be able to see Rama return. It's not meant for ordinary people. So he's counting himself as one of the ordinary people because he knows that he is going to die right now. And he will not have the privilege of seeing Rama again. And this is a very important verse for us to remember. And I'll tell you why. Because Rama knows what exists in the heart of his devotees. He's Antaryami. Sarvesha Chaham Hridi Sannivishto. Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So, Sarvesha Chaham Hridi Sannivishto. He is there in the heart of every single living entity. So he knows exactly what Dasaratha is thinking. And Dasaratha is thinking that he wants to see Rama return. So what does Rama do? At the end of Yuddha Kanda, after Ravana is killed, along with all the other celestials, Dasaratha appears. Once again, Dasaratha, what was his only thing? He wanted to touch Rama once. He wanted to touch him. This is what we see in the 65th verse. He wanted to touch Rama one. Samsprishet Ramaha Sakridayadya. That means just once, if I can get to hug Rama. At the end of Yuddha Kanda, he gets to do that. After Ravana is killed, with all the celestials, Dasaratha appears and he gets to hug his beloved Rama again. He gets to see him just before he goes on the return journey to Ayodhya. Because just imagine if Dasaratha were to appear in Ayodhya, then people might be confused. So should Dasaratha be the king, or should Rama, should Bharata? What is happening? It might cause some unnecessary confusion, which Rama did not want to want his bhaktas to experience. He did not want this to be forced upon his bhaktas, the Ayodhya Vasis. So he makes sure that he gives Dashratha the opportunity to hug him, gives Dashratha the opportunity to see him once more. This is very important. Blessed are those who can see Rama looking at the full moon with eyes like lotus petals, eyebrows arched like the Cupid's bow, pearly teeth, and a fine nose. Padma Patra Ikshanam, that means eyes like the petals of a lotus. Subhru, that means beautiful eyebrows. Sudamstram, that means wonderful teeth. Charanasikam means perfect nose. Dhanya, these are indeed blessed. Drakshanti, those who can see. Ramasya, that means Rama. Tara Dipa Nibham Mukham. Tara Dipa. Tara means stars. Adipa means the Lord of. Tara Dipa is the full moon. Nibham means the one who is radiant as the full moon. So Rama's face is as radiant as the full moon. So before he dies, Dasaratha thinks about Lord Rama's physical appearance. The Lord has a form. The Lord is not formless. The Lord has a form. And the form is what? Padmapatra Ikshanam, Subhru, Subdamstram, Charu Nasikam, and Taradipa Nibham Mukham. This is the form of the Lord. And he once again says Rama, 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 Rama. He doesn't think about Brahma Jyoti or something impersonal. Rama is a person. He has emotions. He has qualities. He has features. He has beautiful characteristics. He has beautiful features. And bhaktas like Dasaratha will always highlight the beauty of the Lord, the physical description of the Lord. Because the Lord has a form, he has a physical description. And it's not based on our mental concoction, it's based on what the Shastras have said. And then we are not ending with the description over there. Blessed are those who can see the sweetly fragrant Rama who looks like the full-blown lotus and the autumnal moon. Sugandhi, it is a sadrisham sharadasya indo fullasya kamalasya cha. So fullasya means it's full blown. Kamalasya means lotus. Sharadasya means it's autumnal. Sugandhi means he's wonderfully fragrant. Mama Nathasya, he's my Lord. Dhanya, blessed Drakshanti te mukham. Beautiful. They are so blessed to be able to see this. See, imagine Rama emanating that sweet fragrance. That fragrance is also wonderful. Sugandhi. He smells great. He looks great. Everything is great. And this is the last word. O Raghava, O mighty aunt, O dispeller of grief, O the favorite of his father, O my Lord and protector, O my beloved son, where are you? Ha Raghava, Mahabaho, Ha Mama, Ayasana, Nashana, Ha Pitra Priyame Natha, Hadya Kwasi Gata Sutta. Ha Raghava. So we might think that Raghava means it could be, Rama, Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. It could be Dasaratha himself. It could be his father, Aja. It could be so many people who are all Raghavas. But over here, because he has been speaking about Rama throughout, the Raghava over here is definitely Lord Rama. And he says Mahabaho. Mahabaho means the one who has very mighty arms. Mama ayasa nashana. Ayasa means the grief. Nashana means the one who destroys. Mama, the one, you have destroyed my grief. What was the grief? The grief of not having a son at all for 60,000 years. Rama was the one who removed that grief. And not only that, every single time, Dasaratha wanted something done, Rama would always be the first person to do it. This is mentioned in the first and the second chapters of Ayodhya Kanda. Rama, whatever his father wanted, Rama was there to be with him, to support him while ruling the kingdom. He was always there with him. So he says, oh Rama, you are Ayasa Nashana. How Priya? Priya means you are the favorite of your father. Pitra means father, Priya means beloved. So you're the favorite of your father. And it also means that Pitra Priya also means that you love your father very much. Okay, so Dasaratha knows, King Dasaratha knows how much Rama loves him. See, it's not just enough for Lord to love us. We should know how to love the Lord as well. So both of them are equally important. And over here, we get to see the bond. Through one single word called Pitra Priya, we get to see that the Lord has a bond with Dasaratha and Dasaratha has a bond with the Lord. The Lord, the Supreme Lord, is always very kind. It's not as if he would just leave his bhaktas, he has a free reign, he will just leave his bhaktas. No, he will own that bond. That bond is very important to him. This is how the bond is important to us. The bond is also very important to him. Her Natha means you are my Lord. You are my protector. Hadya Kwasi Gata Sutta. Oh, Kwasi, where? Gataha, have you gone? Oh, Sutta. Oh, my beloved son, where have you gone? Hi, Nasi Gataha Sutta. Where have you gone, my beloved son? Where have you gone? And then at twilight, so this is the sixth night after Lord Rama went off to the forest. Sixth night, that's when King Dasaratha breathes his last. So we know, according to Valmiki Ramayana, we know that Lord Rama left on the day after his birthday, the day after Sri Rama-navami is when Lord Rama left, and exactly 1 week after Sri Rama-navami is when Dasaratha passes away. Okay, so now in the next morning, the bards, we know that the musicians actually wake up the king, right? So the bards tried to wake up the king, but there was no life. Kausalya and Sumitra were surely exhausted and they were asleep. And then they wake up, they hear the lamentations, the other women all appear. Dasaratha is not moving, they know that he has passed away. And then Kaikeyi tells, Kausalya tells Kaikeyi that now you must be happy that Rama is in the forest and her son has all the power in the world. And the attendants of Kausalya tear her away from Dasaratha's body. Then Vasishta understands that such an illustrious king like Dasaratha should not go without any proper funeral rites. He has 4 noble, valiant, Tejasvi sons, and therefore, till at least one of them arrives, the body has to be preserved, and therefore they instruct the ministers. He instructs the ministers to put him in a vat of herbal oil, medicinal oil, and so that the decay can be prevented, or at least it could be slowed down. Then the next day, this is 1 week after Sri Rama-navami, the next day, great sages such as Markandeya, Maudgalya, Vamdeva, Kashyapa, Gautama, and Jabali, all of them ask sage Vasishta, what should we do next? And then there is a huge chapter that tells the effects of not having a king to rule the kingdom. What is going to happen? And ultimately, the decision is for Vasishta to make which of the 2 sons have to return immediately to do the funeral rites. Should Bharata and Shatrughna return, even though Bharata is not the oldest son? Or should Rama and Lakshmana return from the forest because Rama is the oldest son, but Rama has gone off to the forest to fulfill the vows of his father? So, what should be done? Vasishtha makes a tough call. We need Bharata and Shatrughna. And therefore, Vasishtha decides to send messengers, swift messengers to Rajagriha, to Kaikeyi's father's land, so that Bharata and Shatrughna can return. But he says that messengers should not breathe a word of the exile of the two brothers and Sitama or the death of the king. Nobody should say a word. And just as before, whenever Dasaratha sent messengers to Girivraja, there are plenty of jewels and costly robes and ornaments and stuff like that. Same way, even now we are supposed to do the same thing. Do not make any changes whatsoever, because they don't want any indication that something is seriously wrong in Ayodhya. We do not know how many days the messengers take to go to Girivraja. We do not know that. But we know that they went very swiftly. And later on, it said that Bharata took 7 days to travel. And therefore, this should be less than 1 week. The messengers going from Ayodhya to Girivraja or to Rajagriha should be less than 1 week. Okay, so now we are done with the 4th topic. Let us go on to the 5th topic. This is it's an incredibly beautiful topic. Now, so far, what do we know about Bharata? What do we know about Bharata? We know that, number one, he's Kaikeyi's son. Number two, we know that Bharata and Shatrughna are as close with each other as Rama and Lakshmana. We know that Bharata and Shatrughna are currently in Kaikeyi's father's land. Apart from this, what do we know about Bharata? Right next to nothing. So, till now, we have seen the greatness of King Dasaratha. Till this chapter, till the chapter number 64, and even till 67 or so, we have seen the greatness of King Dasaratha, right from 1 till 64. But from 68 to 119, we will see the greatness of Bharata. Bharata's greatness is so magnificent to behold. It's quite magnificent to behold. The beauty of this type of structure is that we see that Dasaratha was, the passing of Dasaratha was due to was as a result of greed of Mother Kaikeyi, whereas Bharata is able to completely overlook the greed of Kaikeyi and overcome the greed of Kaikeyi, and he is a shining star in the latter half of Ayodhya Kanda. So now let us see what Bharata is all about. Bharata, on that very day, Bharata wakes up with a horrible dream. He sees that something is seriously wrong with King Dasaratha. He sees Dasaratha wearing red clothes and drinking lots of oil, going in a southern direction and all that, and wearing a red garland, and someone and a woman wearing red is also taking his crown out and all that. So so he is extremely apprehensive that something seriously has gone wrong in Ayodhya. His friends try to pull him away from this melancholy mood, and he is certain that someone is going to die. It's either his own self or either Dasaratha or Rama. Someone is going to die. And while he's thinking like this, while he speaks like this, the messengers arrive in the city. Messengers from Ayodhya, they arrive, and they say that Vasishta Muni has asked Bharata to return immediately to Ayodhya. So Ashwapati, and Ashwapati is the grandfather of Prince Bharata, gives plenty of beautiful gifts for Bharata and for Kaikeyi and for the entire Ayodhya family. He sends lots of gifts, and they depart. And so they take a rather leisurely route to go to Ayodhya. They take a rather leisurely route, and then on the eighth day, Bharata and Shatrughna they enter the capital of Ayodhya, and they immediately see that something is seriously wrong. um, Previously Ayodhya was full of hustle and bustle. It was very busy. It was very happy. It was very beautifully kept. Everything was fragrant. Music was wafting from everywhere. The sacred fires were always being tended. So all of these were the symptoms of a happy city. But suddenly everything is unkempt, everything is very dismal, everyone is sad, and the kingdom appears like a widow. And Bharata is wondering what has happened here. And he goes to his father's palace, but he's not able to find him there. Then he goes to his mother's palace, and she is extremely happy to see Bharata. And 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 then Bharata, he does his namaskar to his mother, and he says, "Mother dear, I have a question. What has happened? I'm not able to find my father. Why was I asked to return in such haste?" And then Kaikeyi says, "Whatever usually happens to all the living entities has happened to your father as well." And that is Dasaratha has passed away. Bharata is so tender that he falls senseless on the ground, and he said that he had hoped that he was summoned so that he can see the coronation of Rama, or to see some major sacrifice being conducted by King Dasaratha, and instead he has to hear this particular news. And what is he thinking about? If only his father had left him in Lord Rama's care, had entrusted him to Lord Rama's care, all would be right with the world. And he thinks, but he is so unfortunate that he wasn't there when his father passed away. But at least Rama and Lakshmana were there. And so he says, I'm sure that Rama and Lakshmana were there. So he must have definitely thought about me, my dear mother. What was the king's final message? And Kaikeyi says, at the very end, all he said was, Ha Lakshmana, Ha Sita, Ha Rama. That was all he said. And then he also said that blessed are those who can see them return to Ayodhya. Now, Bharata is completely confused. Bharata is completely confused. So we should first of all note that we're talking about huge palaces, and it's not one tiny little home that if he doesn't see one person, he knows immediately that that person is not there. We're talking about huge palaces. Kaikeyi has her own palace, Dasaratha has her own palace, Bharata has his own palace, Rama has his own palace, Mother Kausalya has her own palace, and everything. So it's not as if just from sitting in Kaikeyi's palace, he will know everything that is happening with the other palaces and the other residents as well. He thinks, what? Rama and Sita and Lakshmana have gone where? And he says, where have they gone? Kaikeyi replies, Dandakaranya. Bharata falls flat. He's completely shocked. Rama has gone to the forest? But this sort of a punishment. Vanvas is given to only the heinous of criminals. What mistake has Rama done? He's completely spotless. He cannot have conducted any crime. So why did he go? Why was he sent to the forest? Then Kaikeyi thinks that what she says is going to be very pleasing to Bharata. She agrees that Rama is completely sinless. She says that Rama is anagha, he's sinless. But then she did not like the fact that Dasaratha decided to crown Rama as the king of Ayodhya just after Bharata's departure. And so she decided to request her two boons, which the king gave because she saved his life so many years ago. And the consequence of the two boons was that Rama had to go to the forest for 14 years, and now Bharata has the kingdom. But because of the grief of separation from his beloved son, Dasaratha passed away. But Kaikeyi has done everything within her power to ensure that Bharata can rule this kingdom without any obstacle. And she is basking in the appreciation. She's waiting to bask in that appreciation, which never came. Dasaratha's son, Bharata, is also a very righteous person. Bharata immediately chastises his mother. Why do I need this kingdom after you have murdered my father and you have treated my brothers so badly? You have murdered your own husband and you've decided to banish Rama to the woods, and that Rama has waited upon you so diligently. Now, Rama is the son of Mother Kausalya, that very Kausalya who has always treated you as if you're her younger sister. So, how did you even forget the fact that I love Rama? I love Rama, so why would I oust him from the throne? And why would I want to sit on the throne that belongs to my older brother? And he calls himself an insignificant vatsa or a calf, and Rama is a rishabha. Rama is the bull. So bull can pull a lot more load than a tiny calf can. This is pretty obvious. So he says, I'm just a calf and Rama is the bull. How can I pull the load that Rama can do? And even if I were capable of doing it, I will never give you the satisfaction of seeing me on the throne. This is also very significant because Kaikeyi might now argue that Rama and Bharata have both received the same education. They are both excellent princes. They are both excellent in martial arts. They are both excellent in political science. They're both excellent. So why can't Bharata do it? So Bharata immediately counters, even before Kaikeyi can argue, Bharata immediately counters that even if he were capable of doing this, he is never give Kaikeyi the satisfaction of seeing Bharata on the throne. She has caused this pain, this havoc. She has wreaked this havoc, this immeasurable pain on not just the royal family, but also on this entire Ayodhya. All because she wanted to see her son rule one kingdom. And he says, if only Rama didn't revere you, I would have made sure that you are away from human civilization. If only Rama did not do this, because many people have questioned, why didn't Kaikeyi, why wasn't Kaikeyi banished? Or why didn't Bharata send Kaikeyi to live elsewhere? Why was she still in the royal palace after all of this? Why was she still in the royal palace? So the reason over here is very clear that Bharata did not do this because he knows that this is against Rama's own wish. And he very clearly says, in the line of the Ikshvakus, In the line of the Ikshvakus, the oldest son always gets the throne. You have besmirched the name of the Kaikeyas. You have not been a good mother. So basically, she failed as a mother, she failed as a wife, she failed as a co-wife, she failed as a stepmother, she failed as a daughter, she failed as a daughter-in-law, she failed as a mother-in-law, and she failed as a queen. These are the 8 different three dharmas that Kaikeyi has, and she failed in all of them. She failed in every single one of them. And incidentally, Dasaratha also said the same thing. But when Dasaratha told Kaikeyi, her greed was so strong that it did not melt her heart at all. This is why the Bharata had to raise his voice and he had to chastise his mother, not because Bharata does this ordinarily or Bharata was not dharmic or anything of that sort. It was necessary for Kaikeyi to understand that what she had done was wrong. The beginning process of redemption is always to understand that someone has done something wrong. And that is a consequence of remorse. Kaikeyi had zero remorse at this point. She plunged the entire kingdom in unbearable grief. The king died, her co-wives are sad, they are lamenting. Everyone in the palace is lamenting, everyone in the city is lamenting, everyone in the village is lamenting, the whole kingdom is lamenting. Her 2 sons, Rama and Lakshmana, especially Rama, who has always served her so beautifully, which she herself admitted in front of Mantra, Rama, who had served her so beautifully, that very Rama is now trudging in the forest. And the very fact that the grief of separation from Rama was the one prime reason why Dasaratha died had no consequence on Kaikeyi. She was so covered with self-righteous, she was patting herself with self-righteous happiness that yes, what I've done is right. I'm the perfect mother. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that my son is ensured of all pomp and glory and everything. So because she is thinking like this, it is only that son who can give her a knock on the head and help her understand that what she has done is criminal, what she has done is terrible, and therefore she needs to repent. And Bharata, right now, he says, I will go to the forest and I'm going to bring Rama back. And I'm going to make sure that he is enthroned on the royal throne of Ayodhya with full pomp and splendor. And then he exits Kaikeyi's chamber and he's lamenting. He's crying loudly. At that time, Kausalya hears him. And she knows that Bharata is innocent and she comes to see him. But to make sure that the world knows that Bharata is innocent, she says, "Oh, Bharata, you are not the king. You have gotten this kingdom. You are not the king. But was it necessary for your mother to send my son and my daughter-in-law to the forest, and my son is now wearing bark of robes. He's wearing robes of bark and wearing matted locks. Was it necessary? Can you please take me to my Rama?" So Bharata, he moans and wails and tells Kausalya that he was completely ignorant of what had happened. He does not support his mother's actions. And if he had any part, then may the knowledge of everything that he has acquired be proven barren and all the sins of various types of sinners come to him. So he gives, I think, about 85 different 85 different types of sins in here. I think it's 85 or something close to that. It's even the sin of kicking a cow, sin of not paying proper remuneration, sin of spitting at the sun. Such types of sins are also sins. Sins of being like a vagabond and begging for alms and stuff like that. We have those so-called sannyasas. They're not really sannyasas. They're just like beggars who just pour ashes from the crematorium on their head and think that they are being very holy and very sacred. But that's not the case. So he condemns these type of sins, and he says that if I had taken part in the exile of Lord Rama, may that sin come to me. And of course, no sin ever comes to him. And above all, he says that may he not behold Rama return to Ayodhya and his subsequent coronation. Guess whom does Lord Rama speak to as soon as he descends in Nandigrama? The first person he speaks to is Bharata. It is not Vasishta, it is not his mothers, it is not anybody else. It is Bharata. Bharata is the first person. Over here, Bharata says that if he had committed any crime, if he was the one who had designed this plot of sending his beloved brother to the forest, then may he not see Rama return and be crowned the king of Ayodhya. And Rama made sure that he tells the world that he knows that Bharata is completely innocent. How does Rama know that Bharata said this to Mother Kausalya? How does he know? He is right now in Chitrakuta. How does he know that Bharata is speaking this in Ayodhya? This is because Rama is a supreme lord. So even when he is in the form of a man, he doesn't lose his divinity. He is always the supreme lord. Whether he takes the form of a boar, whether he takes the form of a fish, whether he takes the form of a dwarf or a half man, half lion, he is always the supreme lord. There is never a time when he is not the supreme lord. And he is always transcendental. So Bharata seeks to exculpate himself in the eyes of Mother Kausalya. Kausalya hugs him and she raises her son, and she says that I know that you're innocent and I know how much love you have for my Rama. And she says this. So now, this is the first slide out of many that count the number of tests that Bharata faced. There are two different types of tests. One is a test of temptation, and the other is a doubt of his motives. So right now, the first test that Bharata faced was the temptation of ruling the kingdom. So Kaikeyi had given him the entire Ayodhya in a platter, said that now it is your turn to rule the kingdom. But not even for 1 second did Bharata want to go into that temptation. He didn't want to experience that temptation at all. The second is Kausalya, his own mother. Kausalya, who has always lavished a lot of affection on Bharata, and who is the queen mother, and she is the oldest mother, and so she really took care of all 4 children very beautifully. Of course, Rama was a favorite. Whose favorite wasn't Rama? But even Kausalya was questioning his motives. And this was also another test. So there are totally a series of 8 tests, and all of them fall either in one of these 2 categories. It's either temptation, temptation for more material opulence, like the kingdom or something like that, or it is questioning the motives. Are you honestly a friend or an enemy of Rama? And many people ask, not just Mother Kausalya, but it's even great rishis also ask the same question. Even great rishis ask. So rishis are supposed to be trikal gnani. They are supposed to know, they are seers because they can see into the past, present, and future. They are seers. They have divya drishti, trikal darshi. They can see all of that. And when people of this eminence question Bharata's motives, it is easy for any ordinary person to succumb to doubts or fears or be quite melancholy. But Bharata is so full of faith in Lord Rama that we will see how he rises up every single time. So now the next major point is the time for Dasaratha's funeral. Now we may think that Bharata had already told Mother Kaikeyi that he is going to go to the forest and bring Rama from the forest and install him on the throne. Why is he delaying right now? Why doesn't he go to the forest, bring Rama back so that Rama himself can conduct the funeral rites for King Dasaratha? Why ever not? This is because Bharata knows that we are dasa anudasa. We are always a servant of the servant. And therefore, he first does something for Rama Bhakta. The only thing that he can do for Dasaratha at this point is to do his funeral rites. This is what he can do. And therefore, he discharges that duty towards Sri Rama Bhakta. So imagine if he had gone to Chitrakuta and then told Rama that, oh, Rama, your father is still in a vat of oil. You have to come back and then you have to do this. How crazy it would have sounded to Rama. He would have first said, why didn't you do it? So over here, Bharata knows what his brother wants. And Bharata knows how much his brother loves King Dasaratha. He knows it. And therefore, he discharges the duty towards the great Sri Rama Bhakta, the great Dasaratha, and then he goes about on the next task, and that is to go to Chitrakuta. So anyway, they all carry Dasaratha to the cremation grounds in beautiful colored garments and flowers and everything. They light the fire and they do the libations for 10 days. 11th and 12th days, there are other ceremonies. And on the 13th day, he collects the ashes from the pyre and then he laments the absence of King and Rama. And he tells, oh, Dasaratha, how could you leave us when we needed you the most? And what time was that? We needed you the most when Rama was not here. And at that time, you have left us too. And Shatrughna and Bharata faint when they think about their loving father. And Valmiki says, when Bharata and Shatrughna fainted, they were like those two dhwajas of Indra, those flag posts of Indra that had just fallen down. It's unbearable to see them on the ground. So Vasishta raises Bharata and Sumantra raises Shatrughna, and they offer the remaining offerings to the departed king, and they slowly walk back to the palace. When they walk back, this is the first time Shatrughna says something. He says, why is it that Rama, who is very valorous and who's very valiant, why did he bend his will to that woman? And Lakshmana is always going about talking about how brave he is and how valorous he is. Why didn't he do something? Moreover, how come Dasaratha could perpetrate such injustice? So we see that Shatrughna's mentality is also very similar to what Lakshmana said in the earlier parts of Ayodhya Kanda. Even Lakshmana was also saying that Dasaratha was being very unjust. Rama shouldn't have to go to the forest. If he wants to go into the forest, he should do it during his Vanaprastha time and not this time. He says a lot of wonderful things, and uh, Shatrugna is also mirroring that same sentiment. And now the gods actually drag Mantra. Mantra, she's there. She has plenty of jewels wrapped up around her, but those jewels do not enhance her beauty. Kaikeyi was the one who bestowed these jewels, by the way, because Kaikeyi thought that she's doing something nice for Mantra, because Mantra did something wonderful for her, or so she thought. And Valmiki says that Mantra looks like a she monkey, a female monkey, and the gods drag Mantra to Shatrughna and say that she was the reason why the king is dead. She is the reason why Lord Rama is now walking in the forest. And Shatrughna flings it down and drags it to the ground. At that time, Mantra pleads with Kaikeyi to protect her. So Kaikeyi pleads with Bharata to protect her. And Bharata says that Shatrughna, Rama is not going to approve of this tactic. So let's just leave it at this. And Mantra and Kaikeyi just console each other and they scurry away. So what is the meaning of Shatrughna? Igna means the enemy, and Shatru means the enemy. So the enemy of the enemy is Shatrughna. Our enemies are not our nearby neighbors or in-laws or anybody like that. Our enemy is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are our 6 main enemies. Shatrughna is now tackling the epitome of greed, and that is a Manthara. He's tackling her and he's just throwing her away. And because she was in the form of a woman, Bharata says, forget it, let's just leave it at that, let them just go away. Mantra is never heard of again. No one hears about Mantra ever again throughout Valmiki Ramayana. No one ever hears her again. And Kaikeyi is now full of remorse. That's the reason why she's not begging Bharata to spare the life of Manthara. Kaikeyi is full of remorse. And she also is part of the bhaktas who go to Chitrakuta. But anyway, let's not jump the gun. So the next day, so this was on the 13th day, on the next day, there is a royal assembly, and the ministers and others ask Bharata to occupy the throne. So this is the third temptation. This is the third test, or the second temptation. So twice so far, Bharata is offered the throne. So we might think, okay, 2 times, maybe there is another time that Bharata is given this opportunity. And maybe, maybe it is a good idea. If everyone thinks that it is a good idea for me to occupy the throne, maybe it is a good idea for me to occupy. An ordinary man might think like this, but Bharata is the incarnation of the God. Bharata is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So he's not going to think like this. Bharata is, no, I'm not going to occupy the throne. So Bharata goes around the materials that were necessary for the coronation and says, the Ikshvaku family always make sure that the oldest son gets the throne. The oldest son always gets the throne. And I will not rest until Rama comes back from the forest. So let the laborers build roads, make sure that there are proper pavements, proper resting areas, proper wells, proper shade, and everything from Ayodhya to Ganga. And everyone praises Bharata. The experts all build the beautiful roads, water tanks, wells, shady platforms from Ayodhya to Ganga. The next day, the temptation is that the bards awaken him with music, like how they would wake up a king. So we have already seen in the 13th chapter of Ayodhya Kanda that that Dasaratha was about to be woken up with music, and he hears the music, he hates it, and he says immediately, just stop the music, I don't want to listen to it, I just stop it, I don't want it. And right now, why did he say at that time? Because he knew that because he was a king, he had a kingdom. Because he had a kingdom, someone could say that I want the kingdom, and that's the reason why that's the reason why he had to make sure that the kingdom goes to Bharata, and his beloved son Rama had to go to the forest. So at that time, the role that he hated the most was being the king. The role he hated the most was to be the king. And right now, Bharata is faced with something similar to that. People want Bharata to be the king. We already saw that ministers want Bharata to occupy the throne. Kaikeyi has offered this temptation. So Bharata hates it. Bharata says that this is not my kingdom. This is Rama's kingdom. Rama is the king. So he shouldn't be woken up like the king. And so he immediately asks for the music to be stopped. And this is one very clear indication that even in sleep, Bharata thought that Rama is the king. There's a very clear indication, because usually in sleep, our Chetana is kind of low, our consciousness is kind of low. And at that time, we may think, oh yeah, sure, why not? Let me enjoy like a sleep. We might want that. But Bharata's Chetana was always at an extreme high, even during his sleep, because in that befuddled, sleepy state, also he knew that Rama is the king of Ayodhya. It is not him. Therefore, he should not get he should not be woken up like the king. So this is a very important point. The next is that on that same day, the National Assembly is convened. Vasishta convenes the National Assembly, and then he offers the crown to Bharata again. He says, Vasishta Muni says, Bharata, can you please take over the crown? Can you please rule Ayodhya? Can you please do that? So now, Vasishta Muni, who is Bharata's guru, Vasishta Muni is also saying the same thing. So we might think, oh, Guru is saying, Guru wants me to do something, so let me go ahead and do it. But no, Bharata was not any ordinary soul. Bharata says that he is mortified at the repeated requests to oust his brother. He said that there is no one who is there to support me other than Rama. Dasaratha quit his life. The moment Rama went away, Dasaratha quit his life. I am the son of such a noble bhakta, such a noble king. How can I work perversely? How can I rob Rama out of his kingdom? And moreover, he says, I am just a slave. A slave, a slave cannot rule anything. A slave cannot own anything. Rama is the owner. Rama is the proprietor. Rama is the king. Is the king. There's now the kingdom and I both belong to Rama. So both of us are Rama's properties. So how can one property rule the other? It is not. It is not possible. So everything should belong to the master. One position cannot rule the other. So therefore, the first step is to go to the forest and beseech Rama to return to Ayodhya. And Bharata says once again that I did not participate in Kaikeyi's despicable schemes. And Bharata promises that if Rama does not return, then I too will stay in the forest like the noble Lakshmana. And Bharata informs that tells everyone that he has already started the construction of proper roads and shady banks and wells and everything to make sure that the transport from Ayodhya to Chitrakuta is as Ayodhya to Ganga is as comfortable as possible. And now the ministers and everyone rejoice at the prospect of seeing Rama return. The next day, the very next day, Bharata wakes up and he's very eager to see Rama. And right now, all the mothers, the citizens of all Varnas, including Shudras, they all embrace each other in great joy. Hey, they're going to see Rama and they praise Rama's divine beauty. This is the 83rd chapter of Ayodhya Kanda, wherein they say that Rama is a Megha Shyama. He's as dark as the autumnal clouds. So he's like Megha Shyama. They praise the beauty of the Rama and they sing his glories, and they soon reach Shringavedpura. Shringavedpura, as we know, is the place where Nishada reside, and the Nishada king is Guha. And Bharata decides, let's halt here. So now we are going on to the second last topic of Ayodhya Kanda, and that is Bharata meeting Lord Rama in Chitrakuta. This is a phenomenally beautiful pastime. And 115th chapter is the coronation of Padukas as well. Now, obviously, the army of Bharata is extremely large. He has brought in all 4 Angas. So Chaturanga Sena. So he's brought the infantry, the horses, the chariots, and the elephants. So he brought in everything, and he thinks, why has Bharata come in like this? If he wanted to see Rama, he should have come in solitarily. Why did he bring everyone to see Rama? That means that he has some nefarious purposes. Does he want to destroy Rama before he comes to Ayodhya after the exile? After all, isn't Bharata the son of Kaikeyi? And Kaikeyi was the one who banished Rama to the forest, right? So maybe Bharata is just following his mother's orders. And he says, Bharata chaiva sakha chaiva Rama dasharathir namal tasyartha kamaga sannadhar Ganga anupe atra tishtathar. So Bharata chaiva, that means Lord Sakha chaiva, friend, Ram Dasharathir Mama. Rama means Rama, Dasharathir means the son of Dasaratha, Mama means me, that is Guha. So he says, Rama is my Bharta, Rama is my Lord, and Sakha, he is my friend. So Rama Dasharathir Mama. Tasyartha Kamaga Sunnadha Ganga Anupe Atra Tishtitha. So Sumitra, who has already had the opportunity to converse with Guha and knows how noble Guha is, he sees that Guha is approaching the army, and he tells Bharata, "Oh, Bharat, this is Guha. He's a very close friend of Lord Rama, and he knows this forest land very well. So I'm sure that he can help us find Rama and Lakshmana. He can definitely help us." And Guha respectfully salutes Bharata and says, "Okay, please stay the night over here, and you can resume your journey the next day." So Bharata is very happy Bharata is very happy to see that Rama's friend has come in there. Bharata is very happy, and he says, "Oh, can you please direct us to Bharadvaj Muni's ashram? Can you please do that?" But now Guha is not very convinced. Guha thinks Guha thinks that maybe Bharata's intentions are not very pure. Bharata's intentions are not very pure. So he asks Bharata, "Why have you brought your vast army? Are you indeed a friend or a foe? Why have you brought your vast army? Are you a friend of Rama or an enemy?" But Bharata, the noble person that he is, he feels no anger towards Guha at all. He says, "Guha, I want to take Rama back to Ayodhya. I want to do that." And Guha is very happy because of the conviction with which Bharata spoke. Guha knows that what Bharata is saying is the truth. He's very happy, and night falls. And then the next day, Guha talks about the various virtues of Lord Rama, and he says that throughout the night, Lakshmana stood guard, and Rama and Sita slept, and he said that Lakshmana spoke about how Dasaratha had spent countless years, in austerities. And Lakshmana had hoped that his father would not die of the pangs of separation from his beloved son. Lakshmana had also talked about Kausalya and Sumitra and how Ayodhya is going to look like a widow without Rama's presence, and saying that night transformed into day. The next day, Rama and Lakshmana matted their hair and they crossed River Ganga. And hearing all of these stories of Lakshmana and of Lord Rama and Lakshmana's various emotions, Bharata is overcome by this narrative and he faints. And then he asks Guha, "Can you please show me the Ingudi tree beneath which Rama and Sita slept and where Lakshmana stood guard?" So Bharata is taken to that place. Guha takes him there, and as soon as Bharata sees that he's completely overwhelmed. Even though this had taken place a couple of days ago, Bharata is still able to see the impression of where Rama slept, and he thinks about Rama's beautiful. He thinks about Rama's beautiful sleeping chambers in Ayodhya, and he thinks, how did that Rama sleep on this bare earth? How did that Rama sleep on this Mahitale? How did he sleep on this bare earth? And he says, he who was awoken with sweet music and now is now listening to the howls and cries of the animals. And Sita, who is a dainty princess, has slept here, and there are still some few pieces of gold ornaments and gold threads of a veil stuck to the kusha grass. So this is one of the proofs that Sitama wore royal robes to the forest, because unless you wear royal robes, you cannot get golden threads from the veil. Ascetic robes do not have golden threads. So this is one of the many proofs that Sitama wore royal robes to the forest. And Bharata exclaims that Lakshmana is indeed blessed that he was able to render them every type of service. And Bharata vows that going forward, he too is going to wear only the bark robes, and he's going to mat his hair. He is going to sleep on the bare earth. And like Rama, he is also going to eat only roots and fruits. And he says that Dasaratha had asked for one son to be in the forest and one son to rule the kingdom. So let Rama go back to Ayodhya, and Bharata will remain in the forest. And if Rama chooses to stay in the forest, then Bharata is promising everyone that my place is with Rama in the forest. That I will not go back to Ayodhya. So now we might think that this did not really happen, isn't it? Bharata did return to Ayodhya and he didn't stay in the forest for 14 years. So was he still a good bhakta or no? Someone can answer?
Uh, well, couple of things. I think what Bharata said was he's not going to return to Ayodhya, and he doesn't return to Ayodhya. He still stays in Nandigrama without Rama. He says he will not return to Ayodhya without Rama. And the second thing is, if it is between what you want to do and what the God wants you to do, you need to go with what God wants you to do.
That is correct. That is specifically right. Guha also wanted to offer the Lord a lot of conveyances and food and all that, and Rama says, "No, I don't want it. I want you to feed my father's horses." Guha immediately does it. Here, Bharata promises that he is going to stay in the forest with Lord Rama, or if Rama wants to return to Ayodhya, that's it, or else he's going to stay in the forest with him. But that was not Rama's intention. Rama wanted Bharata to do some other service, and therefore um, Rama's will always prevails. So it is what Rama wants. It is not what we want. So even if we might have an opinion, okay, fine, I want to decorate the Lord this way, or this is what I want to prepare, and this is what I want to do. Sometimes, if we are very adamant that I'm going to make this is what I want to give, we might not be successful in what we are doing because the Lord might have something completely different in mind. And the Lord might want us to do something very different. And we should always go with what the Lord wants and not what we want. And this is one such example. The other is Hanuman, which we will take care of in Sundarakand. The next day, Bharata asks Guha to help him cross River Ganga. Guha brings 500 boats and all the major army members and everyone. They all cross the River Ganga, and then they march towards Prayaga and they meet sage Bharadvaja. Now, Bharadvaja and Vasishtha, they are both very happy to see each other. They are all very close friends. They are very happy to see each other. Then Bharadvaja offers hospitality, roots, fruits, gear, etc. Now the next thing is the doubt. Bharadvaj Muni asks Bharata why he brought a vast army. Bharata Muni, who is a seer, who is a seer, who is a Trikadashi, he asks Bharata, why did you bring a vast army? Mother Kausalya had questioned his motives, Guha had questioned his motives, but now when Bharata Muni had questioned his motives, Bharata was not able to withstand it. And Bharata cries and he says that I do not support my mother's activities. And Vasishtha and the others, all of them can back me up. But Bharadvaja says, Bharata, I know what is there in your heart, but I've asked this question so that your love for Rama deepens. Bharadvaja says that your brother is residing in Chitrakuta and you will see him the very next day. Bharadvaja gives Bharata that particular assurance. Next, Bharadvaja says, I want to offer hospitality to your entire army. And The Maharishi goes in the fire chamber and he invokes the Devas, the Gandharvas, and Apsaras to build great palaces and to have rivers of honey, rivers of yogurt, rivers of milk, and to have all sorts of fruits and vegetables and wonderful food to eat, excellent drinks, entertainment, dance, music, etc. And now we see the eighth test. Bharadvaj Muni creates a beautiful mansion for Bharata, and in the center of the main hall is a large and gem encrusted throne. What does Bharata do? So maybe for an ordinary person would have thought, okay, this is just, I know that this is just a temporary thing. I know that it's just for one night. So let me just go ahead and occupy the throne. This is what an ordinary person would think. But no, Bharata is not an ordinary person. Bharata circumambulates the throne. Bharata mentally installs Rama on the throne, and he takes over the seat that is meant for the minister. Because, of course, Rama regularly consults with his brothers when he becomes the king. So there is no mistake in Bharata occupying the position of a minister, but he installs Rama on the throne. He doesn't sit on the throne himself. Or nor does he think, how would it be if I were to sit on the throne? See, even on the land of make believe, which is what Bharadvaja is doing at the moment, even in the land of make believe, Bharata does not occupy the throne. Bharata makes sure that his beloved brother gets to occupy the throne. And then the army, they are so very happy. They are full of wonderful pleasures and everything, and they say, let us just stay over here, let us not go to Ayodhya or to Dandaka. And the powers of Bharadwaja's yogic might bewilders most people. Now, one important thing that I wanted to bring about is that in Balakanda, we see that Bharadvaj Muni, this same Muni, is the disciple of sage Valmiki. And when Valmiki went to river Tamsa and uttered the Man Nishada Pratishtham Shashrata Samayat Kramcha Maithanad Ekam Avadi Kama Mohitan, when he uttered this particular verse, Bharadvaj Muni was over there. He was handling the pot of water, and he was handling his Guru Maharaj's clothes and everything. Over here, we see that he's so powerful to invoke the Devas, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, and build great palaces just out of his yogic might. Just out of his yogic mind, he was able to do all of that. And yet, he was so humble and he was so polite to his Guru Maharaj, who is Valmiki Muni. This is what a disciple is supposed to be like. A disciple, irrespective of how great he is or she is, should always be subservient to one's Guru Maharaj. There is never a point in time when the disciple can say that I am better than you to a Guru Maharaj. There is no instance of Valmiki ever creating, palatial palaces and palatial residences and rivers out of honey, rivers out of milk, and call the Devas and the Gandharvas for some beautiful entertainment. There is nowhere in Valmiki Ramayana where Valmiki does all of this. So he knows that his disciple is highly advanced, and yet the disciple is always subservient to the Guru Maharaj. And this is something that we should follow. It doesn't matter how advanced we are in scriptural studies or anything, we should always be subservient to our guru. We are never bigger than our guru. We should always be subservient. Now, the next morning, Bharata goes to sage Bharadvaja and says, "Can you please let us know how to reach Chitrakuta?" Bharadvaja gives the proper directions, just as how he gave the directions to Lord Rama to reach Chitrakuta. You know, this is one krosha here, there, and all that. Similarly, you know, Bharadvaja gives the same instruction to Bharata as well. And then he sees that Bharata is lamenting. Bharata is completely in tears, and he calms Bharata by stating that Rama's exile is meant for the greatest good of the Devas, Rishis, Danavas, and the Brahmanas. What is the greatest good? Devanam, Danavanam, cha Rishinam, Bhavitatmanam, Hitam che Bhavishyadhi Rama Pravajanam Iha. Devanam, the Devas, Danavanam, the Danavas, Rishina, Bhavitatmanam. So it's meant for the highest good, the greatest good. Rama's exile is meant for the benefit of this entire world. It is not meant for just one thing. This indicates two different things. Number one, Bharadvaj Muni knows that Lord Rama is the Supreme Lord. He knows that because it's only the Supreme Lord who can perform activities that are meant for the benefit of this entire world. Only the Supreme Lord can do that. And sometimes the Supreme Lord will empower certain bhaktas who can do that as well. But it's only out of the mercy of the Supreme Lord that this can happen. The other point is that Rama can always attain multiple objectives through a single action. The action right now is the fact that he has gone into exile. But the objective that he has attained is that he is protecting the dharma of his father. He is pleasing the stepmother. He is making sure that the sages and the other denizens of the forest get an opportunity to serve him. And he is going to perform an activity that is so miraculous, that is so wondrous, that is going to benefit this entire 14 planetary systems. Because Ravana was so tyrannical that everybody was afraid of him. Everyone was afraid of him. And nobody was able to do anything about it. And Rama's exile is so perfect that it's going to benefit this entire world. So these are the two different things that we can learn from this particular statement. So now Bharata is very happy, and he marches forth to catch a glimpse of Lord Rama. And birds and bees are all very afraid, but Bharata says that our destination is very close by. And they can see one column of smoke, because where there is smoke, someone is lighting the fire. So that means that some human being is definitely over there. So maybe ascetics are lighting some sacred fire. Maybe Rama himself is living over there. And so he says, all of you, the troops, you just remain, and all of us will, the few of us will walk very quickly, and all of you just walk slowly and come over. And Bharata is extremely ecstatic because he's going to see Rama very soon. He's going to see Rama very soon. So this is just a very quick timeline. I mean, there is no chapter in Ayodhya Kanda that gives this information. It's not like there's one chapter that's just dedicated like this. But I got this information from multiple chapters of Valmiki Ramayana. But I thought that this is a very good timeline for us to figure out how many days it took for Bharata to reach Chitrakuta just after Sri Ramanavami. So it is on Lord Rama's 25th birthday. We still don't know that it is 25th birthday. That is going to come in Aranyakand, but we know that it is the 25th birthday because I have already read Aranyakand. Chaitra Masa Punarvasa Nakshatra is when Dasaratha announces that Lord Rama is going to be the heir to the throne of Ayodhya. The next day is when he was supposed to be crowned the king, but instead he, Sitama and Lakshmana go off into the forest. 6 days later, Dasaratha passes away. Less than 1 week, we know that messengers from Ayodhya go to Girivraja and ask Bharata and Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna to return to Ayodhya. After 7 days, Bharata returns to Ayodhya. On the 8th day, Bharata scolds Kaikeyi and he consoles Mother Kausalya. For 13 days, Dasaratha's funeral rites are conducted. On the 14th day, the National Assembly asks Bharata to take the crown. He refuses and commissions a road to be built. 1 or 2 days later, Bharata once again announces that he is going to go off into the forest. The next day, this is the 83rd chapter of Ayodhya. Bharata travels from Ayodhya to Ganga and they speak to Guha. The next day, Guha helps them cross Ganga. They go to Bharadvaja Muni. The next day, and they spend the night over there, and Bharadvaja Muni gives them all the palatial residences and blah, blah, blah. The next day, Bharadvaja Muni guides them to Chitrakuta and Bharata arrives there. So, in conclusion, approximately 1 month or 1.5 months after Rama left Ayodhya is when he meets Bharata. Any questions in this timeline?
No, Mataji.
Okay. So this is just a basic calculation. Of course, I've taken this from multiple chapters of Ayodhya Kanda, but it's all good. Now, in this time, we know that Bharata is walking towards the column of smoke. We know that that is happening. So at this time, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana are spending a beautiful, tranquil moment in Chitrakuta. The Chitrakuta mountains are so pretty, they're so peaceful. And Rama says that, oh, Sita, oh, Lakshmana, I'm so happy that I'm in this beautiful forest in your company. And I have no regrets in leaving Ayodhya. I'm very happy here. Imam tu kalam vanite Vijahnivam Tvaya Chat Site Sahas Lakshmanena Cha. So with Sita and Lakshmana, I'm very happy. And it's beautiful here. And at that time, slowly the army of Bharata is drawing close. So Rama turns to Lakshmana and says, Lakshmana, can you just climb on a shala tree and figure out what is happening? Now, Lakshmana doubts the motives of Bharata. Lakshmana does that. How did Bharata cross this test? Mother Kausalya questions his motives. Maybe that is warranted because Kausalya is thinking about her son. Guha asked Bharata, why did you bring a vast army? Are you Rama's friend or are you Rama's enemy? I want to know. Maybe because Guha says Bharata chaiva, Sakha chaiva, Rama Dasharatha Mama, maybe because of that is warranted. Then the Trikaldarshi Bharadvaja Muni says, why did you bring this vast army? What are your intentions? Who are you really? So what are your intentions? So that time Bharata just loses his composure and he says, I'm just hoping that Rama will return and will be crowned the king of Ayodhya. But now his his own brother is thinking that Bharata has made a big mistake. And Bharata is coming here just to destroy Rama and Lakshmana. His own brother is thinking this. Lakshmana climbs atop a sala tree and he says that Bharata has come with a huge army. And how does he recognize that it is Bharata from a distance? Any ideas?
They must be carrying flags, and also, it was a huge army, so a lot of sounds might be coming. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, you are correct that it is the flag. Bharata's flag is the Kovidara tree. And Lakshmana sees that flag sign and he knows that Bharata is close by. And he says that Bharata has come with a huge army. So it's very certain that Bharata is going to kill them. And he wants to rule over Ayodhya without any anxiety. And Lakshmana just wants to fight. Then Rama says, calm down. Bharata is supremely wise. Not only that, Rama has already given the word. He's reminding Lakshmana again that this journey to the forest was Mama Vipraya. That was what he told Mother Kausalya and Lakshmana a long time ago. And he reiterates that it was his desire to come to the forest. He had given the word to the king. And he had given the word to Rama, Dvirna Abhibhashate. I will not say this twice. So Rama says that to Mother Kaikeyi, but over here he's repeating himself to Lakshmana, stating that this is what I have told I've told Mother Kaikeyi that I'm going to reside in the forest and Bharata should get the kingdom. And he says, what am I going to do the kingdom? What am I going to do with the kingdom if Bharata perishes? Even if I had the entire Svarga, I don't want it at the expense of my brother's lives. I don't want it. And why are we apprehensive about Bharata right now? Bharata has never given us any cause to worry. Bharata has nothing but very sweet with us. So why are we fearing Bharata at this point? And he says, Lakshmana, if you want the kingdom, I can assure you that one word from me and Bharata will give the entire kingdom to you, Lakshmana. And Rama's gentle words calm Lakshmana and says, and then he feels a little bit ashamed. And he says, okay, maybe Dasaratha himself is coming here, but both Rama and Lakshmana noticed that the white umbrella under which Dasaratha usually travels was not there. And therefore, somehow or the other, they get that presentiment that that Dasaratha is not coming with them. Dasaratha is not coming with the entire army of Bharata. So he understands that. By the way, please note that Rama is very capable in calming Lakshmana, but there are times when Rama gets angry and it's very difficult to calm him down. It takes some very supreme skill, very supreme bhakti for bhaktas to calm down Lord Rama. We think that Rama does not get angry, but that is not true. In Ayodhya Kanda itself, we will see one place where Rama gets angry. So now, Bharata asked Vasishta, please walk slowly with the mothers. And he and Shatrughna and Guha and Sumantra, all of them walk rapidly towards that cottage. And they see the abode of Rama. There's firewood, there's flowers, and there is path to the waters, and there's kusha grass on trees. It's just some sort of indication, because in the forest, pretty much all the trees look alike. But how will they know that this is the place where the hermitage is? So in the path, they just tied up some kusha grass so that even at night, when Lakshmana had to go and get some firewood, he can easily figure out that this is the path. So it's very intelligent way. So if maybe some firewood, maybe some fruits or roots, or maybe some water, because Rama can get thirsty even at night time. So what was Lakshmana going to say? No, Rama, I'll go to the river during the daytime. No. If Rama wants water right now, that means that Lakshmana has to go and fetch water right now. That is part of the service. It is not up to us. It is up to the Lord. And Rama says, Lakshmana, I want water right now at night. Then Lakshmana has to go to the river and get that water and come. And therefore they have that path. Or maybe Rama is hungry. Says Lakshmana, I'm very hungry. Can you please give me some fruits? Okay, dear brother. And Lakshmana has to go and get some fruits. Being Lakshmana was not at all easy, because it's nothing but service, service, and service. But this is what makes Lakshmana a great bhakta, because no one should crave for anything other than service, service, and service. So this is what we should learn from Lakshmana, by the way. But anyway, Bharata and Shatrughna and the others, they reach the hermitage, and they see Rama is dressed as a hermit, and Rama is seated on the bare ground with Sita Ma and Lakshmana. I couldn't find a picture like that, so I apologize. I'm not an artist, but this is the best I could find. Bharata cannot hold back his tears. He rushes towards his brother and he says, oh, he who was surrounded with the best of citizens of Ayodhya is now surrounded by wild animals of the forest. He who used to be covered with priceless ornaments and clothes is now being covered with deerskin. My Rama used to wear flowers in his hair, and now he has matted locks. He performed countless sacrifices, and now he is following the path of asceticism. Previously, sandalwood paste used to adorn him, and right now dust is adorning him. Shatrughna also falls flat on his feet. Both brothers start crying. And then when he sees his bhakta being so tender-hearted, Rama cannot bear it either. Rama immediately hugs his brothers, and all of them sob piteously. Even Rama and Lakshmana also cry when they see Bharata and Shatrughna cry like this. And then the forest dwellers, all of them see this beautiful scene of the four brothers hugging each other, and all of them start crying. So why has Valmiki mentioned about the forest dwellers? Because we need to measure up our emotions against the emotions of pure bhaktas. We're not trying to follow them, or we're not trying to imitate them, but we need to figure out where we stand. The forest dwellers are pure bhaktas, and they are moved when they see Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrughna. They're completely moved. So if we don't have even an iota of emotion when we read this, then that means that we have a lot to work on, and we still have got a lot to do to have bhakti in our hearts. We still have got to do a lot of endeavors. But naturally, if there is an emotion, then that means that, okay, we are on the right track. Scriptures are not just meant for entertainment. My Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj, says that this is not meant for manoranjan. It is not meant for entertainment. It is meant to make us better devotees. Because ultimately, the whole reason for human existence is so that we can go back to the Lord's abode. The whole reason for this is so that we can go back to the Lord's abode. Not that we should be nice and comfortable over here. That's why, lessons of, all the management styles that we can understand from Ramayana or from Bhagavad Gita, all of these are just bogus things, because this is not the whole purpose of the scripture. The purpose of the scripture is to make sure that we have a rise in our consciousness so that we can become better devotees. And the better devotees that we are, it's better the chances that we can go to the abode of the Lord right in this Janma itself. We don't have to wait for 1,000 Janmas. We can do that even in this Janma. We are capable of doing it, provided we work on our bhakti, on our sadhana, and we work on that. It is quite possible. So Valmiki is not trying to show us up. Valmiki is not trying to see that, oh, this is what pure bhaktas did. You cannot do this one. No. Maybe we did not shed a tear right now. But maybe when we read it the next time, maybe we will. Maybe when we read it the next time, maybe we will. So in Balakand, we saw that there were so many celebrations, the birth of the Lord, the marriage of the Lord. It's very easy for us to get caught up in that happiness. And we're all very happy. We are smiling from ear to ear when we hear about the marriage of the Lord. We are so happy when we read about the birth of the Lord. We're so happy when we read that Rama broke the bow. Oh, it's so magnificent. We enjoy all of that. And that's great. It's wonderful. We should appreciate the Lord's beautiful pastimes. We should admire the Lord's pastimes. That's all fine. But when we read stories like this, it's a good measure of where we stand as devotees as well. Are we in tears when we see Dasaratha passing away? Are we in tears when we read the story of how the brothers met in Chitrakuta? Are we in tears when we hear about the coronation of the Lord's Padukas? So these are very beautiful benchmarks, because we are dealing with pure devotees in Ayodhya Kanda, in Valmiki Ramayana. We're dealing with pure devotees. So we can see how the pure devotees have behaved, and we can try to measure ourselves against their benchmark. Not that we should imitate them, but we should follow their lotus footsteps. We have to follow the footsteps of great bhaktas. Yadid acharati shreshtas tatid evataro jana. So ordinary people should follow the footsteps of shreshtas, of the best people. That is, best people are always pure bhaktas. And we are very ordinary people, so we need to follow them. Then Rama says, why did he come to the dreary forest? Why did he do that? And then in the 100th chapter of Ayodhya Kanda, he gives the instructions on how to be a perfect king. It's a very huge chapter. I didn't bother to summarize it over here. It's a very huge chapter, and anyone who is in political science should actually read that chapter so that they can understand how to form a good government. They should do that. But anyway, that is once again not the motive of this recitation at the moment. But why has Valmiki put that in place? Because Valmiki Ramayana is a summary of the Vedas. Veda Vidya Pare Pumsi Jati Dasarathatmaje Vedaha Pracheta Sadasi Sakshat Ramayanat Manaha. Veda Vidya Pare Pumsi, when the goal of the Vedas, Jate Dasarathatmaje has been born as the son of King Dasharatha, Vedaha Pracheta Sadasi Sakshat Ramayanat Manaha. So the Vedas incarnated, when the goal of the Vedas had incarnated as the son of King Dashratha, the Vedas incarnated as Valmiki Ramayana. It's written by Pracheta, that is Valmiki. So Vedas are the entire body of knowledge. The entire body of knowledge. You can see everything in there. So political science is also part of the body of knowledge. And that is also mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. And anyone who is in political science, in politics, if they were to follow this, they would have the ideal government. Everything would be ideal. And that's the whole point. You set up everything for setting people up for success. That is the whole point. Then Bharata replies that he did not ascend the throne because the throne belongs to Lord Rama. And he says, Rama, you should definitely return because the king passed away out of grief of separation from you, and you need to conduct the funeral rites for your father as well. And the only thing that he wanted to know, the only thing that he wanted to see was your beautiful face. And Rama is aghast to know that his father passed away, and Bharata consoles him. Bharata says that you should offer libations to your father. The Rama is so in love with his bhaktas that he faints, and Bharata and Sitama and Lakshmana had to sprinkle water on Rama's face. And Rama turns to Lakshmana and says that, oh, Lakshmana, you don't have a father anymore. And turns to Sitama and says, oh, Sita, my dear Sita, you don't have a father-in-law anymore. And then they all go to Mandakini River, which is very close to their hermitage, and they offer Pindadan to King Dasharatha. Bharata says that he has conducted the funeral rites, but if Rama were to offer something, it would mean more to King Dasharatha than if he were to offer it, because Dasharatha loved Rama very, very much. And therefore, Rama goes to Mandakini river, and he offers ingudi cakes and badari cakes and offers them to his father. And then they lament, their cries fill the air, and then the mothers and everyone, they understand that Rama has learned about King Dasharatha's passing. So Rama hugs everyone who has arrived there, and then Vasishtha and the royal mothers walk slowly, and Kausalya looks at the river and says that your son is bringing water from this river to my son. But we shouldn't think that that service is lowly, because that is also perfect service. And we should know that any service for the Lord is absolute. Any service for the Lord is absolute. So today I am giving a class. Tomorrow I could be cleaning the temple. Another day I could be cooking something. Another day I could be decorating. Another day I could just be sweeping. I could be doing multiple things. But all of them have the same standard. All of them just show that I am serving the Lord. Doesn't mean that a preacher is more important than a person who is cooking or a person who is cleaning. No, because we are dealing in the realm of absolutes. There is no relativity in here. When we deal in the realm of absolutes, It is only the fact that a person has served the Lord in some capacity or the other that matters. In Ayodhya, Lakshmana's service was different. Lakshmana was going with Rama on horses, on chariots. He was holding the bow and arrows for Rama. He was his regular companion, and that's fine. In the forest, it changed. Rama is thirsty. Lakshmana has to go and get some water. In the palace, he doesn't have to do that, because in the palace there are multiple servants who will do that work for Lord Rama. But it doesn't mean that Lakshmana's service is lowly in the forest, because we are dealing in the realm of absolutes. In absolute, all services are equally important. In Padma Purana, I think, it is mentioned that Mother Lakshmi, despite having multiple servants in Vaikuntha, she is the one who cleans Narayana's home. Of course, in Vaikuntha, there is no dust, there is no grime, there is no dirt. And Mother Lakshmi has 100,000 servants or something like that. And she doesn't need to do it, but she wants to do it for Lord Narayana. But is Mother Lakshmi's service very down? No. It's because she is serving her beloved husband. So it is perfect. If we're talking of the service in the realm of absolutes. And then Mother Kausalya and Sumitra see the Pindadan that Rama had offered King Dasaratha, and she laments that the Chakravarti is now getting Ingudi cake, and that Rama is able to offer only Ingudi to his beloved father. And all of them console her. They resume their journey towards the ashrama of Lord Rama, and they see that Rama is seated on the bare earth, and they start crying. Rama greets all of them, and they brush the dust off his back, because to them, to the mothers, Rama is still a little boy. It's still a little boy, and so they lovingly take the dust away from his back. And then Lakshmana and Sita also offer their obeisances. Vasishta blesses Lord Rama. And then he says, Rama asks Bharata, why did you come to the forest? Why did you renounce the throne? Bharata replies, my dear brother, our father was urged by the evil Kaikeyi to send you to the forest and secure the throne for me. And because of the shock of separation from you, the king lost his own life. And it's because of me that my beloved Rama, you are staying in the forest is because of me. And I'm begging you, this is my objective. I want you to return to Ayodhya, and I want you to come back to Ayodhya. I want you to be crowned the king. So there are multiple times when Bharata entreats Lord Rama. This is the first time. Actually, during the introduction itself, he did ask Rama to return. But at that time, Rama had not posed that question. Right now, Rama poses the question. Therefore, this is counted as the first time. Why did you come here? What is the objective of your arrival in Chitrakuta? Rama asks this question. And therefore, Bharata says, please, everyone is praying. I'm begging you, please come back to Ayodhya. Rama says, there is no need to blame Kaikeyi for anything. Please do not do that. But I am my father's son. And my father promised Kaikeyi that I will reside in the forest. I need to make sure that that the words of my father are not proven false. And King Dasaratha had said that Rama should be in the forest and that you should be in Ayodhya, and that's exactly what you should do. We both of us need to follow our father's orders. So Bharata did not really say anything, and then they went off to sleep. The next day, there was this huge assembly, and once again, formally, Bharata says, "My dear brother, I am here because I'm entreating you to come back. Please remember, I am your slave. How am I allowed to own anything? Can a donkey compare to a fleet horse? Can a linnet compare to a Garuda? Can, can anyone other than you rule Ayodhya? Now, by returning to the kingdom and being crowned the king, the entire world is going to rejoice. So, can you please come back?" So, Rama says, "Dasaratha and Kaikeyi did not drive me to the forest. It was just destiny. There, and this is a huge chapter, by the way. There are great devatas like Indra who lose their positions. We see Indra lose his position so many times. That's why he's scared when some ascetic conducts tapasya. That's why he sends apsaras to destroy their tapasya. He's scared when someone conducts the Ashwamedha Yajna. That's why he does a lot of thievery, and he steals Sagara's Ashwamedha horse and all that. So he does a lot of things because he's so scared that he's going to lose his position. Strong mansions fall to ruin. Water that the rivers pour into the ocean cannot be retrieved. Similarly, Dasharatha left this world, and we cannot just cry about it. It is temporary and it will be taken away. And therefore, we shouldn't we shouldn't think that this is permanent. So anyway, Bharata should return to Ayodhya and Rama is going to stay in the forest. It's just as simple as that. So this is almost like Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada, Agama Apayana Anitis Tamstitik Shatsva Bharata. So this is the Matra Spashasta Kaunteya being elaborated by Lord Rama. And then Bharata says, "Oh, Rama, you are so divine, and so please forgive the sin of my mother. But you are a king. You are the oldest son. You are the king, and being in the forest clashes with your dharma as a king." So he's trying. Bharata is already tried the oldest son argument. Now he's trying the dharma argument over here. So it is not proper for the younger brother to rule over the older brother. It's not proper, and everyone is supporting my decision. And then he says that if you stay in the forest, then I am also going to stay with you. And then everyone cheers for Bharata, and with bleeding hearts, everyone begs, "Please come back, please come back, please come back." Now, I mentioned this yesterday that Lord Rama protects the dharma of his bhaktas. We saw an example of Dasaratha, who did not know what his dharma was at that time, and therefore Rama extricates him from that mesh and says, "I'm going to go to the forest." And even now he says, "Do not blame Dasaratha or Kaikeyi. I'm the one who went to the forest. It's absolutely fine, and this is what I wanted, and so I did that." We saw with Sumantra, he did not know whether he had to go faster or he had to go slower, because Rama wanted him to go faster, King Dasharatha wanted him to go slower. So what should he do? And Rama says, "I want you to go faster, and it's okay. Just this is what I want you to do." And he says it. So Sumantra is completely extricated from that dharma dilemma. It also is the case that devotees might promise something that they themselves have forgotten. But Rama does not forget, because he is Sarvajna. He knows everything. So he himself will not forget it, and he doesn't have apohanam. he doesn't forget, even if the devotees have forgotten. So Rama says that before he was married to Mother Kaikeyi, Dasaratha promised Ashwapati, Kaikeyi's father. Kaikeyi was actually the third wife. The first wife is Kausalya, the second wife is Sumitra, and the third wife is Kaikeyi. And he promised Ashwapati that Kaikeyi's son will rule the kingdom after him. He promised it. He wanted to marry Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi is extremely beautiful. He wanted to marry her. And therefore, he just said, okay, if I give my promise that after me, it's going to be the son of Kaikeyi who is going to rule the kingdom. So after Rama was born, and Dasaratha was obviously so very much in love with Rama. He saw how much the people loved Rama and everything. He completely forgot this promise to Ashwapati. He completely forgot. So Rama does not forget it, but even though Dasaratha did. So the Lord wants to make sure that the promises of his bhaktas hold true. Right now, even if it is, even for these 14 years, to the naked eye, it looks as if Bharata ruled the kingdom. It does appear like that. And therefore, this is the way in which Lord Rama ensures that everyone's promises are fulfilled. Everybody is fulfilled. Everybody is happy. And then he also reminds Bharata that Dasaratha was saved by Kaikeyi, and therefore she bound him by a promise. How can the king not abide by it? And because of that, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana are in the forest. Now Bharata and Shatrughna should reside in the palace, and they should conduct. The remaining part of the boon. They are supposed to do that. So in Rama's mind, it is very clear. One son had to be in the forest, Rama had to be in the forest, and Bharata should rule the kingdom. So just as how Rama promised that he will fulfill the boons, similarly, Bharata should promise to do that. But Bharata is saying, no, I don't want to do that. I want you to come back. So dharma is not something that can be exchanged. Dharma is not something that can be traded. So Rama says that this is what I should do, this is what you should do. And he gives a meaning of putra. Put means hell, and Trayati means the one who rescues or one who saves. And therefore putra means the one who saves from hell. So this is the duty of a son. I'm following the duty of the son. It's fine. It's okay. I'm happy to stay in the forest. Now, because Bharata and Rama were at a stalemate, one of Dasaratha's priests called Jabali begins to interject. He poses Nastika, that means atheistic, and Mayavada philosophies. Mayavada is impersonalism. He poses these two things. He says, but primarily is Nastika, by the way. That's why I just put that one in the title. He says, what is the meaning of kith and kin? Why are we placing so much importance on Dasaratha? And Dasaratha is dead. So why should Rama fulfill the words of a dead person? It's not necessary at all. And as well as there is no state called hereafter. After death, there is no other place. And therefore, there is no other truth more than what we can see. And therefore, Rama should accept the kingdom that he can see and the wealth that he can enjoy. And that should be it. Now, Rama gets angry. Rama is furious at such atheistic attitudes. So the Lord gets angry with Jabali. Rama is Jitakrodha. Jitakrodha means the one who has conquered anger. So why should he get angry? Because the Lord does not like it when scriptures are trivialized like this. The scriptures, the way Jabali speaks, it looks as if, he's speaking very intelligently. It looks as if, we are seeing this kingdom called Ayodhya right now. We are able to see this wealth. Yes, it does make sense. So immediately Rama just pushes it. Rama gets very angry and he says that this is not right. Rama doesn't give a line for line counter against what Jabali has mentioned. He just gives an overall perspective. But the main reason why he gets very angry, number one, is because scriptures should not be trivialized. And number two, Jabali poked at the relationship that Rama has with King Dasaratha. The Lord hates it. He absolutely hates that. Because for him, the bond with every single Jivatma is very important. He is in his Paramatma form, he is always with every single Jivatma. There is never a point in the Jivatma's journey in this material world when Rama is not with that Jivatma. There is never a point. There is never a point when Rama is not with the Jivatma. The Lord is always with us. As Paramatma, He is always, whether we are in the body of an elephant, whether we are in the body of a pig, whether we are in the body of a dog or a cat or a human being or an elephant or a whale or a bird or a tree, He is always with us. Because this is His supreme love for all the Jivatmas. Just because the Jivatma wanted to rebel against the Lord, he just doesn't kick them out and say that, okay, fine, you go do whatever mess you want to do. No, he is continuing to protect us. And then Jabali had the temerity to question that bond. Even an ordinary person also, Rama doesn't abandon. Paramatma is there in the heart of every living entity, not just bhaktas. He is there in the heart of every living entity. But to question the bond with a bhakta like Dasaratha, Rama gets very furious. And he says, I am not going to falsify the words of my father. I am not going to do that. How is it even possible that my beloved father kept you, O Jabali, as one of his priests? How did my father do that? Because a pious person does not like the association of a Nastika. A Bhakta doesn't like the association of a Nastika or a Mayavad. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Mayavad Bhashya Sunile Hoi Sarvanash. By listening to the words of a Mayavad, it's Sarvanash. Everything is gone. Everything is destroyed. So a bhakta doesn't like to associate with Mayavad or with a Nastika. So here Rama says, how come my father kept you in his court? Then Jabali understood. He overstepped his bounds. He says, oh Rama, I understand everything that you're saying. It's not that I myself am a Nastika. I was just trying to make sure that you come back to Ayodhya by some means or the other. Okay, so his motive was pure. His motive was that Rama should be comfortable. His motive was that Rama should come back to Ayodhya. His motive was that Rama should be crowned the king of Ayodhya. His motive was that Rama shouldn't suffer in the forest. Great. But the method by which he wanted to reach that objective was wrong. What was that method? He tried to propound something that is false. He's going subversive to the Vedic truths. And when we do that, the Lord doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. So there are many instances where, we have great bhaktas who do something that is not technically recommended in the Vedas, but because of their supreme love for the Lord accepts what they do. Because of that, it's okay. For example, Andal or Goda Devi used to wear garlands to make sure that they look pretty for the Lord, and then she used to offer it to the Lord. Whereas we know that we shouldn't offer garlands that were first worn by us. But the Lord loved the fact that he was wearing the garlands that were worn by Andal. He really loved it. And when her father admonished Andal, who's also Periyalvar, when he admonished Andal, the Lord came to Periyalvar's dream and he said that, no, I want what Andal has done. I want the garments that were worn by her. And this is out of the supreme love for the Lord that she did this. She wanted to make sure that everything was perfect. And she was so innocent when she did this as well. Jabali tried to do something that was subversive to the Vedic truths, and the Lord got angry. So, yes, the Lord is Jitakrodha, but he gets angry when Vedas are not given the proper importance. And number two, when Bhaktas' lives are in peril. So we will see that in Ayodhya Kanda, there is a huge instance of the Lord's towering anger. Even now, when I read that section, which we will cover tomorrow, I still quake with fear. I'm not kidding at all. And there is another one, obviously, with the ocean. That's another case as well. So all of these are always meant for the betterment of the devotees. So now Rama is angry. How is it possible to soothe him? How is it possible to soothe him? It takes a very superior bhakta to soothe an angry Rama. A very superior bhakta. Over here, Vasishtha slowly intervenes. Vasishtha says, yes, Jabali is not a Nastika, even I confirm it. He merely said it because he wants you to come back. And by the way, Rama, it's the tradition of the Ikshvakus that the oldest son always becomes the king. And we get to see the entire Ikshvaku line again. I'm not going to repeat it. We have already seen it in Balakan. And these are few examples of the ancestors who had multiple sons, but the oldest son was crowned the king. For example, Vivaswan had multiple sons. Vaivasvata Manu, who's the oldest, is the heir. Ikshvaku had 100. He crowned the oldest as Kukshi. Kukshi was the heir. Susandhi had Dhruvasandhi and Prasenajit. And Dhruvasandhi's son, Dhruvasandhi is the son who becomes the king. Sagara had Asamanjas and 60,000 sons, and the crown went to Asamanjas' son, Amshuman. And therefore, the tradition should be continued and Rama should become the king. But Rama says that, yes, I agree with all of that, but still my father's words have got more bearing. Because my father, when I was a child, had bathed me with oil, showered me with a lot of affection, and therefore my father's words have got more bearing. This also shows that Dasaratha was a very hands-on dad. He really loved Rama so much, in spite of being a Chakravarti and everything. He was really caring, very loving towards his beloved son Rama. So Vasishtha says, don't forget that Acharya and mother's words are also very important. And not only that, haven't all of us pleaded with you? Doesn't that mean anything to you? Rama says, I am going to keep my word to my father. He's final about it. Now he says, Bharata, he has seen all of this interaction. He says, Sumantra, bring sharp kusha grass. I'm going to sit down over here. I'm going to fast till my brother listens to me. And therefore, for the fourth time, he begs the Lord to return. And Rama says, Bharata, why are you forcing me in this position? Why don't you go back to Ayodhya? I'm going to spend 14 years in the forest. And then Bharata says, all Ayodhya Vasis, please join me in my entreaties to Lord Rama. Ayodhya Vasis say, but Bharata, Rama doesn't go back on his word. We know that too. Rama says that this is what he is going to do. He is not going to go back on his word. Then Rama asked Bharata, Bharata, please get up from this bed of grass. Bharata. And Bharata, with tears pouring out of his eyes, said, please, no, I'm announcing to all of you, ministers, rishis, and the different heads of state, I never craved this kingdom. There was not a second when I asked Kaikeyi to secure this kingdom for me. I will stay in the forest. You want the king's words to be obeyed? Fine. I will stay in the forest. Rama, somehow or the other, you go back to Ayodhya. But Rama says, Bharata, we cannot repudiate or modify the king's commands. We cannot do that. The Maharishis are filled with joy. You know, in Mahabharata, the Kauravas wanted to get everything away from the Pandavas. By hook or crook, they cheated Yudhishthira in the game of dice. Shakuni, not the whole Kauravas, but Shakuni cheated Yudhishthira in the game of dice. And it was so ugly. It was so ugly, so unfair what the Pandavas had to go through. Absolutely unfair. But over here, this story of loving fight pleases the heart of all the people who listen to it. Bharata wants to give the kingdom to Rama. Rama wants to give the kingdom to Bharata. You take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. It's so full of love. But the Maharishis, they are Dirghadarshis. You know, they can see long into the future. They know that for Ravana to die, Rama has to stay in the forest. And therefore, they advise Bharata, Bharata, you should follow the counsel of Rama. You should follow the counsel. And once again, Bharata begs him, no, my dear brother, you please come back. This is the sixth time. You please come back. You please come back. Everybody wants you to be the ruler of the kingdom. Everybody wants you. So till now, Rama sees that Bharata is grieving, Bharata is afflicted. What does he do? He gives himself to Bharata. He pulls Bharata on his lap and he embraces his dearest brother. Immediately, Rama takes away all of Bharata's sorrow and grief. He takes him and he says, my dear brother, I am sorry, I cannot come back. I will not go against my father's word. I want you to serve Kaikeyi diligently. You go back and you serve her, because he could see that Bharata was very angry with Kaikeyi. He could see that, but Bharata received this instruction from Rama. I want you to serve Kaikeyi properly. This was the instruction. And then we know that everyone knew Rama is not going to go back. We've seen Bharata entreat 6 times. Rama is not going to go back on his word. Vasishta says, give your Hema Bhushite Paduke, your Padukas that are decorated with gold, give that to Bharata. And Bharata says, Adiroha Arya Padabhyam Paduke Hema Bhushite Ete hi sarva lokasya yoga kshemam vidasyatah. Yoga kshemam, it means provide happiness and security. Paduke hema bhushite. So by pada adiroha arya padabhyam, when I install these beautiful padukas on the throne, they are for lokasya yoga kshemam. Lokasya, not just for one tiny little kingdom called Ayodhya, in one tiny little planet called on Earth, in the 14 planetary systems, is for yoga kshemam lokasya, for all 14 planetary systems. Rama is not the ruler of one tiny little kingdom. He is a ruler of all the universes. He is Akilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. This is one of the names of Lord Venkateshwara. He is Akilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So Bharata says this is Lokasya Yoga Kshemam. Yoga Kshemam means this is the best thing for this entire world. This is the best thing. To install the Padukas of the Lord is the best thing for this entire world. Rama happily gives his sandals to Bharata, and Bharata asks the Lord to place the feet on the sandals just once. Bharata bows down and he takes the sandals on his head. He says, Rama, if you do not, Rama, for 14 years, I am going to be looking after the kingdom, but I will always look at the road with which you will return. Sapadke sampranamya Ramam Vachanam Abravi Chaturdasha hi Varshani Jata Chiradharo. That means with matted hair. Chiradharo means with bark robes or hermit's garb. Hyayam Phalam Mula Shano. That means I will always be eating phala and mula, that means fruits and roots. Veera Bhaveyam Raghunandana. Oh Veera, oh my valorous one, this is what I'm going to do. And he says, I'm going to report at the sandals every single day. But if Rama, you fail to enter on the first day of the 15th year, I am going to jump in the blazing fire. I am going to do that. I will jump in the blazing fire. And Rama says, Tathastu. I agree. So that means that we have seen that Rama left on Chaitra Masa Pushya Nakshatra. Bharata says that if you are late by a single day, I'm going to jump in the forest. I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in the fire. That means that Rama returned on Chaitra Masa, Pushya Nakshatra, exactly 14 years later. On the beginning of the 15th year is when he arrived over there. There was not even a single day's delay. There was not a single day's delay. What did Bharata achieve through the Chitrakuta? He kept on begging the Lord to return. The Lord did not return. So what did he achieve? Actually, the plan was that Kaikeyi wanted Bharata to get the kingdom. Rama is supposed to go to the forest for 14 years. And even after he returns, she wanted Bharata to continue to be the king. So the whole point for Rama to go to the forest was to help Bharata consolidate the kingdom in the absence of Rama, make himself very dear to the people, so that even if Rama were to return, people would not really care. Okay, fine, we like Bharata, we want him to continue to be the king. So Rama, when Kaikeyi sent him off to the forest, Rama knew that when he is going to return, he did not really have the position of the heir to the throne to look forward to. He knew that. Over here, Bharata, because he came to Chitrakuta and he begged again and again and again and again, Rama accepted that kingdom. So he gives his sandals because they are his representatives. So if he had not given the sandals, then it would mean that he just wants Bharata to rule. He will continue to stay in the forest and then he will come back and he would not be the king. But because he gave the sandals, he agrees to come back and be crowned the king of Ayodhya. So it's not as if Bharata's efforts in Chitrakuta were futile. It's not like that at all. So he also ensures that multiple other promises were carried out. He wants to make sure that he's in the forest for 14 years, but he fulfills the duty of a king to be with his subjects. So he is ruling the kingdom. Even when he is in the forest, he is ruling the kingdom. The Ashratha's promise to Ashwapati and the boon to Kaikeyi were all fulfilled. Bharata manages the kingdom for 14 years. Bhaktas know that Bharata is only the servant of Rama, so that is a different thing. But at least in the eyes of the world, Bharata ruled the kingdom for 14 years. And over here, Rama promises that he is going to become the king after he returns. Bharata says that he will take the permission of sandals every single day. Bharata carries out this duty for 14 years. And Bharata's entreaties to Rama to become the king are now delayed by only 14 years. Rama does come back, Rama does become the king. So, prayers of a bhakta may not always take fruition at the same time as the bhakta wants, but when a true bhakta entreats and beseeches the Lord for something, which is going to give more bhakti for the whole world, which is for the yogakshemam, lokasya, the Lord will surely relent. The Lord will surely relent. So we shouldn't think that Bharata was unsuccessful, because he was extremely successful when he went to Chitrakuta. So now Bharata places the sandals on the state elephant, and everyone is very sad. They leave Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana in the pool of tears. Bharadvaja Muni is informed of what happened in Chitrakuta. Bharadvaja Muni says that everything is going to be okay. They cross Yamuna, they reach Shringavedpura. From there, they go to Ayodhya. Everybody is sad to see Ayodhya like this. And then Bharata goes to Ayodhya. He says goodbye to all the mothers. And then he goes to Nandigrama, which is on the outskirts of Ayodhya. Everyone approves of Bharata's resolve, and then they travel towards Nandigrama, and Bharata places places on his head Rama's sandals, just as how this picture has shown. Bharata announces to the world that the Lord of Ayodhya is Rama, and he has entrusted the kingdom to Bharata. The sandals are meant for the betterment of this entire world. He says once again, Yoga Kshema Baheja Ime Padaka Hema Bhushite. Whatever we saw over there, Bharata reiterates. In Vedas, if one thing is mentioned once, it is a big deal. But when we mention it twice, it's a very big deal indeed. And Bharata says that he is going to return the kingdom to the king after he returns after 14 years. And the sandals are impregnated with the greatness of Raghava. So the burden of state is on them. And Bharata is going to govern only with their consent. So we might, someone asked me, oh, so did the sandals speak, Mataji? Said, no, but the sandals provide the inspiration. Actually, she asked me, did sandals have mouth so that they can speak? So that no, those are sandals, but the Lord can inspire bhaktas through his paraphernalia. For example, when Hanuman gave the mudrika or the ring of Lord Rama to Sita Ma was able to, from that ring, she imagined the Lord's finger. From the finger, she imagined the Lord's hand. From the palm, she imagined the Lord's hand. From that arm, she imagined the entire body of Lord Rama. And from there, she derived a lot of pleasure. So one single paraphernalia of the Lord is enough for bhaktas to think about the Lord. For example, if you just see one flute and one peacock feather, immediately we think of Lord Krishna. Immediately. We don't even need to see the form of Krishna holding the flute. You see a flute and a peacock feather? Yes, bingo, it is Krishna. We see one cow close by? Perfect, this is definitely Gopala. We know that it's Gopala. If we see bows and arrows, immediately we think it is Lord Rama. Yes, no doubt about it. If we see an eagle, immediately, Garuda is close by. So that means that Lord Vishnu is flying around. We immediately think that. We see one monkey. Oh, my dear Hanuman, he's come to listen to Ramayana. We immediately think like that. So it's very easy for the Lord to imbue his powers through any medium. Through any medium. And that's why the sandals are the representatives of the Lord. They are not the Lord himself, but they are the representatives of the Lord. For 14 years, it's mentioned in the next point that Bharata assumed the bark robes and matted lock of an ascetic, and he dwells in Nandigrama. He is always obedient to his older brother. He is very affectionate to his other brothers. He coronates the sandals, and he always wished for the return of Lord Rama. Bharata holds a royal umbrella and a royal paraphernalia. So thus, Bharata governs the state. He is a happy slave of Rama's Padukas. Whatever affair comes up, whatever gift is offered, he gives everything to the sandals, and only then will he deal with them. Everything. Prathamam Nevidya, Padukabhyam Prathamam Nevidya. He offers everything to the Padukas, and then he will see what to do. So there was not a single instance when he said, okay, fine, oh, this is a small gift, let me keep it for myself. Oh, large gifts, I'll give it to Lord Rama. No. Small gift or a large gift, small request, large request, everything went to the Padukas first. Everything went to the Padukas. What is the significance? The Lord can imbue power to anything. He can speak through every medium. Bharata offers every gift, plan, and report to them, and only then does he conduct. At the end of Yuddha Kand, when Rama appears, Bharata offers the Padukas to Lord Rama and says, the granary, the treasury, and the army have all grown tenfold. Tenfold in just 14 years. It took Dasaratha, I don't know how many years to get all of that money. And now Bharata was able to make it 10 times Dashaguna in just 14 years. Why? Because he was willing to be ruled by the Padukas of Lord Rama. By just getting the advice from the Padukas, Dasaratha was able to do Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. He was able to do that Yogakshemam, Lokasya Yogakshemam. Bharata is out of the 9 devotional services, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Bharata is the example of Padasevana. We can also think that Sita Ma is the example of Padasevana because she is also massaging the feet. But especially in this instance, Bharata is the example of Padasevanam because he is quite literally attached to the feet of the Lord. He teaches us that we are not the proprietor. We are not the enjoyer. We are always a servant. Bharata did not have even the slightest inclination to enjoy the kingdom, not even the slightest. When Kaikeyi offered, we saw the multiple temptations and everything. When Kaikeyi offered, when Vasishtha offered, when the National Council offered, no. When the ministers offered, no, he did not want it at all. He did not want it. And he actually said, how could you think that I, as a son of Dasaratha, and I, as a younger brother of this noble king, noble Rama, will oust my brother and take over his kingdom? How could you think that? How could you think that? He discharges his duty perfectly. He does not say, oh, just because, oh, I'm not the king, so why should I do my duty? No. Because it is Rama's kingdom, because Rama has asked him to do something, he discharges the duty perfectly. So till now, Bharata thought that he should stay in the forest and Rama should return. But Rama very clearly indicated that that is not his intention. He had another task for Bharata. Rama very clearly says, Lakshmana and I will stay in the forest for 14 years. You and Shatrughna stay in Ayodhya. Bharata finally understood this is what his brother wants. Bharata finally understood that. Okay, my brother wants me to stay in Ayodhya. Fine, I will do that. If that is, my brother wants me to rule the kingdom, I'm not going to rule the kingdom by myself, for myself. I'm going to make sure that Rama is represented in there. So the Padukas were the royal emblem. And that is how we got this. Now let's go to the last and very quick topic, Atri Muni. So now, after Bharata had left, the sages of Chitrakuta said that, they were very happy in the company of Rama and Sita and Lakshmana, but they really want to leave. At first, Rama says, okay, fine. Then later on, he also says, it's okay, let us leave, because the memories of Bharata, his tears, their mothers, all of them were haunting Rama. So he said, okay, fine, let us leave. So the first person they go to is Atri Muni and Mother Anasuya. And Atri Muni says, oh Rama, this is Anasuya, she's very chaste and you should revere her as a mother. Why does he say that? Does anyone know? Not just for the sake of age, but for what other reason?
She was a bhakt.
Yeah, but why did she deserve to be revered as a mother?
She is actually Anasuya because she is the mother of Dattatreya, the gods.
Perfect. That is correct. She is the mother of Dattatreya. Dattatreya is also one of the incarnations of the Lord. So she is the mother of Dattatreya. So Atri Muni says, Rama, worship her as your mother. That's it. Because he knows that there is no difference over there. So worship her as a mother. And because Rama worships Anasuya as his mother, Sita Ma worships her as her mother-in-law, and she's very sweet with mother. So Rama asks Sita, you go and sit beside Mother Anasuya. So you can see that over there. And Mother Anasuya gives beautiful instructions. The wife should always support the dharmic actions, whether in good times or bad times. Your wife should always be loyal to the husband, whether the husband lives in the city or in the forest, whether he's sinful or virtuous. Great worlds await those women who hold their husbands dear. Nagarasto, vanasto, va papo, va yadiva ashubha. Yasham Srinam Priyo Bharta Tasam Loka Mahodaya Dushila Kama Vrittova Dhaneva Parivarjitaha Strinam Arya Swabhavanam Paramam Devatam Pati. So for a woman in noble nature, the husband is the highest deity, irrespective of whether he is ill-behaved, licentious, or poor. Then she asks Sita Ma to recite the story of her birth and marriage. And she says how Janaka found her in the sacrificial ground and brought her up with lavish affection and care. And when it was time for her to marry, Janaka decided that only the person who can string the bow of Lord Shiva should be the one to marry Sita. But no one could even dream of stringing it. So this is what I mentioned in Balakan, that in dreams we are all Superman, right? So we can do everything, or Supergirls. But even in dreams, the princess could not lift the bow, and that's what Rama did. And that's exactly what we have in here. And here Sita Ma says that Janaka wanted to immediately give Sita Ma to Lord Rama, but Rama refused to get married without the consent of his father. So this is where it is mentioned. Then Sita Ma is so charming, so sweet, so nice, so kind, that Anasuya is charmed with her. She says, I have beautiful cosmetics. Oh, it's a small typo, sorry. Cosmetics, garlands, etc. So you please wear this. So Sita Ma wears all of those jewels and beautiful clothes and everything, and she comes and stands in front of Lord Rama. Rama is so happy that his wife received beautiful gifts from Mother Anasuya. They spent the night at the ashram, and then the rishis say, okay, go towards Dandaka. There are ferocious cannibalistic rakshasas live there. So Rama and Lakshmana, you live them out. Let's not think that the rishis are driving the Lord towards danger. That is not the point. It is that the rishis are saying that this is where we need help, and please Rama, you please help us. So we will deal with that in Aranya Kanda. So key takeaways from Ayodhya Kanda. So we should know how greed can change our perspective. So Kaikeyi was very sweet person, but when she became greedy, she became very bitter and very cruel. Uh, and because of her cruelty, the second point is that she lost the life of her husband. She plunged the entire family of Ayodhya in major grief. She plunged the entire Ayodhya city, the whole kingdom, into major grief as well. We should understand the Lord is very equanimous. He is perfectly balanced, perfect equilibrium. Even when he noted that he had to spend 14 years in the forest on the day he was supposed to be crowned the king. Sita Ma, as we noticed that something was wrong with the Lord's countenance when nobody else was able to discern it. So she has a deeper understanding of the Lord's motives than other bhaktas. And this is very important for us. We need to remember this in Aranyakand and in Yuddhakand. We have got to remember this. And also in Uttarakhand as well, sorry. Dasaratha teaches us how to live and how to die. These are the two things that we are going to do. We will live and then we will die. And then we'll be born again and then we will die again. In the material world, but if hopefully after this death, if we gain spiritual body, there is no more death. So that is another thing. But as long as we live in this material world, we are going to live and we are going to die. Dasaratha teaches us how to do both. Live for Rama, die thinking of Rama. Simple as that. It is just as simple. Bharata teaches us that the bond with the Lord is more important than ordinary material relationships. He tells his mother that Amitre, I think my son accidentally deleted that slide. He tells his mother that you are not my mother. In fact, you are my enemy disguised as my mother. That is what Bharata says. And therefore, material relationships are not as important as our bond with the Lord. Bharata faced two major types of tests. One is the test of temptation, other is the test of doubt. Bharata's faith in the Lord helped him overcome all of this. Rama always protects the dharma of his bhaktas. Even when the bhaktas don't know what their dharma is, the Lord is there to protect them. The Lord is there. The actual ruler of Ayodhya for 14 years was Lord Rama. It was not Bharata, it was Lord Rama. Because Bharata teaches us we are not the proprietor, we are not the enjoyer. Rama is the only thing. And we should also note that Rama is happy when Mother Anasuya honored Sitama. So Lord Rama is happy when Sitama is honored, and Sitama is happy when Lord Rama is honored. So these are very key points. So with this, we can open up the floor for question and answers. Is there any question with what we studied today?
Yes, Mataji, may I ask?
Yes,
I'm curious to know when all this was happening.